Hey, what's up? Dave Watts with Winwell Tennis here, and today we're going to do a little bit of myth busting. I've seen a lot online that kind of tells you that you have to approach down the line in tennis. That's just simply not true. There is a time and a place to approach down the line, and the reasoning behind it is somewhat sound, but a cross-court approach is not a bad idea in a lot of scenarios. So, I've kind of drawn this line for kind of your center lanes in tennis. So the idea is anything up somewhere in this area of the court, if you're somewhat in here and you're approaching to an opponent who's somewhat around here, okay, you can basically go, if you get a ball here, you can go cross court with this approach depending on what you're trying to do. Now, for right-handed players, this is generally a player's backhand. Normally, it's harder for players to pass you with their backhand. Now, that's not always true. There's lots of factors, and nothing I'm saying here is the be-all, end-all. So just know that, it's good to know the rules in order to bend them or break them. So if you have a ball here, it's perfectly okay to play the ball cross-court onto the side to a player's backhand, to a right-hander's backhand. And the other thing to understand about playing a cross-court approach versus a down-the-line approach is it's much easier on an approach that comes in. Let's just say if I play here and I play this ball up the line to the forehand side, it's much easier to take a ball that's coming in this way, okay, take a ball that's coming in this way and play it cross-court than it is to take a cross-court ball and play it down the line. That has to do with something called the angle of reflection in tennis. So if I've got a ball coming into me this way and now I've got to redirect it this way up the line, that proves to be a more difficult shot to execute. So the idea is this: generally, if the ball is inside of this area of the court when you're approaching, you can really play the approach to either side. That's really not an issue. You can definitely play back to the backhand here and go ahead, and you do have a further spot to get to be in front of the ball, but you can go ahead and move this way and kind of tempt them to shove the ball up the line and see if they can make that passing shot. And again, even if they pass you once, that doesn't mean that you should stop doing it. I kind of use the rule of three. If they do it 3 times, you probably need to come up with a different shot depending on what the percentages are in the match. So if you're pulled wider out of these areas, okay, so let's say now the ball is here, okay, and you are looking to approach from this position. Okay, so common sense would tell you need to approach this way so that you can then move to this area of the court to cover the oncoming ball. So if the opponent's now hitting the ball from here, they can pass you up the line or they can pass you cross court, and you can slide over here to cover that cross court or slide here to cover the down the line. So that's the theory behind why you want to play the ball up the line here. But for me, I'm a lefty, so this is my forehand, and I love playing little lefty hooks that go wide here, and even from outside this position, tempting the opponent to try and not bring the ball back where it came from. So what I'll do from this position, being a lefty, and you can do it with your backhand if you're comfortable hitting a wide cross-court backhand, but from this position, I like to go ahead and hit the cross-court approach and just hit it sharp and tempt them again to play this shot up the line. And what I'll do is I'll just sprint this way, even though I have a longer spot to get to be able to cover the next ball. Depending on my opponent and what I'm trying to do, I don't mind playing a cross-court approach even from this position. That's not to say that that's what you have to do or that's necessarily what you should do, depending on your strengths and weaknesses, but it's not against the rules, even on a wider ball, to play a cross-court approach shot. Just know that you've got a longer run to get to be able to cover most of the court. So for me, it works. I'm a lefty. It works relatively well. It's not that I've never been passed or never lost a match playing that way, but I try to assess the opponent and assess what's working in that match. So to summarize here, I know I've got a lot on here, but anything in this center lane, approach where you want. Approach wherever, you can make a solid shot and then hopefully make it a tough shot on your opponent. From the outer lanes, it's not that you can't play the ball cross court. You just need to understand the risk reward in playing a cross court approach versus a down the line approach from anywhere outside of these areas. So anyway, that is the way I really believe that you should look at your approach shots. I'm Dave Watts with Win Well Tennis, and thanks for checking it out. Hey, thanks for watching the videos. I'm Dave Watts with Win Well Tennis, and go ahead and subscribe to the channel for lots more videos. Leave questions or comments below. We always appreciate you watching. Thanks a lot, and win well.